you scholars. It's Makito here, and today I will be going over Attack and Defense Chapter 3. I actually was able to fit the entire chapter of the book into this lesson, so it's going to probably be a long one. So let's, start it up. Let's go through it. In the last chapter, we covered the strategy behind attacking, such as attacking for profit or attacking for power, and even defense, right? In this chapter, we'll be covering tactics to implement those strategies. So essentially, we'll be covering techniques. In combat, we are using, in combat, we are used to physically hitting someone, right? A boxer punches somebody, a wrestler grapples, Romans use swords, spears, and battering rams. And even modern combat, when bullets hit people, right, it's very physical. Bombs are physical, they hitting something. But in Go, when we touch an opponent, those stones tend to get stronger. So once we hit a stone, it's gonna tends to make that other stone stronger. And the stronger they become, your contact stone, the one you used to originally hit it, becomes weaker, right? And so it can be counterattacked. The basic principle is don't touch what you are attacking. Leaning attacks are a good example of actually using contact, right? Hitting something physically. We covered that in the last class. But we don't lean on the group we're attacking. We lean on a different group to get stronger. And then we attack the other group, right? The cut is the exception to the rule of touching, right? That's the most closest two groups can become before you split them apart. So that's an exception to the rule. But for the most part, we don't want to touch our opponents while attacking. And we're going to look through some examples. Yeah, let's look through some examples of non-contact moves. These are very important. This contact, this understanding of, not hitting your opponents physically and go to attack something. So let's see. So in this situation, white wants to attack the lower right side, right? This black group looks pretty loose. If white uses contact moves such as A, B, or C, then what is going to happen? Let's take a look. So when we first try and undercut the base here with A, we can see that black will keep going, white will keep crawling on the second line, and then black is able to push and jump. So if white hits on the bottom, he stops black from making a base. I put back, but let's put base. But black has gained lots of liberties, right? And is no longer a loose group. Everything is pretty much solidly connected. This is the worst way for white to play this crawling technique, right? It's even though black can't make a base on the side, this is really good for black. So let's see. Now let's check out B. If we play B here, then black's gonna Atari, and then connect. And we can see that right now. Let's read what I wrote and then I'll explain it. This is the type of bad cut we went over in the last chapter, right? In the last video, we covered bad cuts versus good cuts. And even myself, sometimes I find myself having trouble distinguishing the two. But this one is very easy to see. So black doesn't mind giving away this one stone if it can gain solidarity, right? It gains that in this variation. You can see that black is just very solid and out facing, the open area, and can even give away this stone if black wants to. You can see this is very good for black. So yeah, white only swallowed one stone, and black just got a good position manipulating it. And it started with this contact play here. So we've checked out these two. Let's check out this one, the clamp. So I can explain the moves in detail if you want. So black is trying to split these two, and then white is hitting shape points, right? It's going to be hard for black to make eyes here. What black tries to create two cutting points. White fixes the most important one. Black makes a bamboo joint and forces white to push out, and then he jumps out. So you can see here that black is out, right? So the clamp, this is the most interesting of the three attempts of contact attacks. In the end, black has once again become very strong. You can see all of black's stones are connected and fairly powerful. And also, it comes with good endgame moves. The book says it's worth 20 points of damage. That's quite a lot. You can see that if black plays this jump, this would be really good for black, and if black gets this monkey jump, this would be really good for black. And you wouldn't play him right now. You would focus on continuing to come out or make eyes. But this is a very good solid shape for black, and black has good follow ups in the end game. So all in all three of these contact attacks continuously push black in a good way, right? You had a loose, weak black group, and then by touching it on any side of here, you can see that black has become significantly stronger. So now let's look at a non-contact move. This is the correct move. This is what we call a pinch. We're pinching the shape without contacting it, without touching it. You can see now if black has two options. If black first goes for the separation like it did in the last one, white can just jump up, and you can see once again white is pinching this group. Black is not very solid, right? There's actually a cutting point at A here if white was to play it. And so when we look, white's position has become very powerful. Unlike the last ones, where the variations, the white stones were considered kind of weak compared to black because black kept getting stronger. But in this case, black's not really that powerful. So we can see that by not touching this group and attacking it, lightly without physically hitting it, we can continue to harass it and stay strong. So the other question that comes, oh wait, and I didn't show this one. So this is the best answer for black. Instead of coming down, it's better for black to play this. This is better to protect the cut at A, and it goes out into the center. But white is still in a better position. Black doesn't have eyes yet, and this is still considered very loose, right? There's still peeps and lots of weaknesses. So this is considered still far better for white, even if black finds the best move. So now the question becomes, so if this is the right answer, why is this one wrong? So other than considering the severity of attacking it, right? The difference between attacking here or, and not touching is direction of play, right? So this move, normally you would think that it's building this area up and you're attacking this group while profiting, which is normally good, right? That's what we learned in the previous chapters, to attack while profiting. So let us read. You might ask why not to attack from this direction. There's one thing we need to consider, and that is the severity of an attack. Just because you avoid contact doesn't make it a strong attack. It must hit the enemy where it hurts. That's a very important concept. In my reviews, previous reviews, and even my teachers, he'll talk about soft moves. I think non-severe moves are soft moves. So the book calls these severity moves, right? So if we attack here, it allows black to make this jump. And even though white comes up, now black gets to play this tiger's mouth. And so you can see black can make an eye on either side. Playing one gains territory while attacking, but it doesn't threaten black severely. The attack ends very quickly, so black settles very quickly, is what it's saying. And black has gained profit in life. If you consider A, right? So if black lives, black's also gaining profit from this. It's either not a lot, but that's what the book states. It's easy to find contact moves versus non-contact moves. I think it's very easy to understand that concept. I think this example really is a concrete way of showing contact moves versus non-contact moves. But it's actually, I think, very hard to find severe moves versus non-severe moves. I think this is where the difficulty lies. And so we're going to cover this a lot. So let us take a look. we covered this whole example in great depth, so that's good. Let's see. Okay, so looking at this position here, White's last move is actually, I think, supposed to be here in the book order. The triangle move, yeah, is the last move White made, hoping Black would exchange A for B, or yeah, A for B and then C. This is what White hoped for when White played this. You can see White is already taking some advantage, right? Um, but in the well, what the book states is, I can read it out. I know it's the non-severe move, but let's read it out so I stay on script, so I stay consistent. uh, but Black's group was not in mortal danger. White was not severe. So instead, the author of the book chose to counterattack White. So the idea is that when White played here at G17, it looks kind of dangerous, right? If White just gets one more move, he can kill these or Atari something out and then kill these. This isn't in the whole group as a whole is not in mortal danger, meaning that even if White takes these two stones, Black will still be fine. So considering this isn't severe, now Black decides to counterattack. So we can look at how Black counterattacks, right? The key when we look at this, evaluate this board, White isn't that strong here, right? White is kind of loose here. It doesn't have any guaranteed eyes just yet. So this is the group that we need to focus on attacking. There's three ways we can go about it. So let's look at all three. Two of them are considered failure moves, and one is correct. If you want to guess, you can pause the video now. Between 1, 2, and 3, what do you think the best move is? But let us begin. So I'm going to keep pushing on. If we play 1 here, which actually looks like a very natural move, I think it's very easy to find. White is also able to find an easy move, right? And so they say Black 1 is the standard move because normally this is very correct. But when we're attacking, well, which it's attacking from the right direction, right? This is attacking from the right direction. But it lacks severity, and White defends very easily. So if White is able to settle easy, then that means we're not doing our job correctly. We're not attacking very well, right? And that's why we're here to learn attack and defense. So this one is not correct. Next, we'll look at the contact play. If you remember what I said before, this is probably not the right answer, right? So we shouldn't touch our opponent when the group that we're attacking, we shouldn't touch it. So we can see White just kind of pushes out, and Black gains quite a lot of territory, mind you. This contact play leads to some territory, but White gets much stronger, and this is considered unsatisfactory. In my own personal games, I'd be happy making this amount of territory, but I understand there's a better result, and so let us take a look at that. Also, I'm not a pro, so if Black plays here, this is actually the best move. It kind of has the same concept of 1 and 2, but it's much more useful. It's much more severe. It's on like a nice shape point. Black stops White's ability to jump and sets up a cut at A, and sets up a cut at B to fail. Okay, yeah, if White tries. So if White tries to come through with B, right, the elephant's eye here, it's setting up a problem. I might have worded that, not properly, but it looks fine. So yeah, if White tries to come through, Black will now get to cut, and you can see Black's already on the shape point of the diagonal, right, of the angle. So if White plays this, Black comes out, and now there's a problem here, right? Even if White plays any one of these moves, Black has two liberties, and so then Black can kill this group, right? So White fixes here, and you can see that Black gets the fix. And so now these stones just die outright, and this group, is kind of floating. Let's read what I have written here. White broke through, but lost so much, and his outside group has no eyes yet. Yeah, so this group isn't settled yet, right? So this is just a failure. And so this move is playing on the angle, which makes this really bad for white. So now in the game, let me see if I can find the variation. I think it was here. Yeah. So in the game, the professional couldn't find a good move to counter P14. Like this was so choking, threatening that I think white chose to just take these stones. But then once black plays here, now we see let's read the script here. In the real game, white couldn't find a good answer against the marked stone, right, this stone here. So he took the two in the top left and used the driving tetsuji in the middle, but it was not good enough and black succeeded. So if you guys don't know, this here is the driving tetsuji. What it does is allow an atari, and then white, you can see, has gotten out, right? White is out into the center. Um, but it wasn't good enough, right? Black's clearly gaining lots of points, and white looks really pinched, right? White's not making a lot of eye space. So this is, a really cool find or a really cool attack against this group. I probably would have played the standard one myself if I was playing the actual game. So that was a nice like little move for me there. All right. So now we're going to learn the first. So there's five main techniques that pop up all the time. These are very common techniques to learn that are going to help you implement your strategies of attack. So it's very important to learn these. You might be familiar with one or three or all of them, but at the end, we can test ourselves with 10 questions the book gives. And I found them to be somewhat challenging. I think I only got 5 right out of 10. So, anyway, let's take a look. This is very important to understand the eye stealing Tetsuji. The strongest attack ruins eye shape. The eye stealing Tetsuji is the strongest attack that ruins eye shape. Can you find the key point, right? I think everybody can find this, which is this move here, right? Here's the mouth shape, and black breaks the mouth shape. Because it's working with this mark stone, these two stones create the eye stealing Tetsuji. And this becomes a false eye, right? No matter what tries to do. The standard move for white is here, and black jumps, and then white comes out. White doesn't have a strong reply, so he hits with one. But even if white tried A or B, right next, if white tries it, the eye is false and ruined. So he runs in the center with three. It's very painful, right? Because this is a false eye. So if we go back, even if white plays here or here, this is always gonna be a false eye, right? Because this is the eye stealing Tetsuji, this combination of stones here. So what if white plays C? Well, now black should Hane under, white connects, black fixes, and now this cut is super open, right? And so there's actually no eyes down here. So if white fixes the cut, then black can clearly connect and have no problems, and white just has a floating group. The cut remains, and it is scary. If white tries to play something fancy, black pushes first, and then comes over the top, and then black goes for the center. And we can see that this will never be a real eye still. And so white only comes out with one eye so far in this. Um, so it's going to be pretty hard. White's going to have to come out and try and find another eye. And black looks like black will take advantage of attacking this while that happens. Placement at one is conceivable, but black takes a good position on the outside, and white is not conditionally alive. So if we compare this, where like white's kind of turned into itself, versus this one, where white's like just more out, I think this is the better answer here. But either way, we can see when black steals the eye, then it's very good for black. It's a very important technique to understand. Okay, so different position, same eye stealing Tetsuji. So we can find it here, right? I think it's easy to find. Um, it would be this move here at g2. And the way I find it is because a few reasons. One, it usually always breaks kind of the mouth shape, right? Here's the break of the mouth shape. Two, it works well with this mark stone. It makes this like diagonal jump or elephant's eye. And so this is the trick to finding these eye stealing Tetsujis, in my opinion. The eye is stolen. Depending on the outside, might want to push at A instead of playing the eye stealing Tetsuji. So if white had lots of potential here, it might be better for white to play this move. Um, but for if you want to attack the group itself, um, B or C won't help black much, right? We can see just like the other one, if he plays this, then we can just come out either way. Either way seems fine to me, but you can see that this is a false eye here. And so this is really good for white. So this steals the eye here, makes it into a false one. It's very good technique. So now we're going to talk about the angle Tetsuji. This reminds me of just breaking diagonal shape or breaking tiger's mouth shape. In the book, they call it a V shape, so it breaks the V shape, striking at the enemy's eye shape. This is a very important technique. We're going to take a look now. So in this position, we have black in a scorpion shape. This is a very common shape to try and make like a ko and an eye, and to like have some versatility of jumping and stuff. For white to play the next move and put an attack on black's group here, we have two markers, right? The first one is the angle Tetsuji. So now we see black can try a bunch of things, but they're all not going to work out too well for black. So let's take a look. If black just commonly pushes down, white can just follow. And you can see that black can't make two eyes. Black is dying, crawling for life. It might not get the angle. Oh, crawling for life, it may not get. The angle Tetsuji is very strong here. So we see if black tries to make an eye here, we can pinch this, so this becomes false. If black tries to make an eye here, we can play here, which would also make this kind of like a false eye type thing. And even if black pushes here, we get a nice tiger's mouth. So black's in a lot of trouble here, whether it lives or not. If black comes on top, white can come down, black, and then white uses a leaning attack. If you remember this from the last class, leaning attacks are used to touch weaker stones that are different from the group you're attacking, right? The proverb was make noise in this case, make noise in the west to attack in the east. Black can try on top, but is limited to one eye on the side and susceptible to a leaning attack against the markstone. This is a really nice like combo of techniques here. Um, if black plays here, then white can cut through, and black has two choices, right? But either way, white's going to be able to come out. And you can see that black still only has a questionable eye. It might not even be one eye. And in fact, the book says black is dead and weak to the leaning attack still. So this is interesting that the book's already saying it's dead, right? Because black still has lots of chances to run out. But yeah, so that would be good. And then if black plays here, white comes on top, black jumps under, and then white plays here. And this one also is considered dead, right? Because this still isn't one eye, and black's gonna have a hard time finding two eyes here, and also is still weak to the leaning attack, right? So this is great for white. All these variations are great with white, and it starts with this angle Tetsuji, breaking tiger mouth, breaking eye shape. It reminds me of a shoulder hit as well. All right. Let's see what examples we're going into now. Okay, now we're going to learn the knight's move attack. So when we look at this position, don't mind this one. I just put it down so that it's black's turn first. When we look at this position, white has a weak group here, so black has something to attack, right? The This attack does not hit the eye shape directly, and not like the angle Tetsuji or eye stealing Tetsuji. This is not breaking an eye directly. It's used to drive your opponents towards something, or build a framework, or do both, right? So if you have a thickness, you usually want to drive your opponents to your thickness. Knight's moves are very useful for that. And we can see how this works in the example. So when black plays here, white makes a dog face, knight's move, knight's move, knight's move, knight's move, knight's move, knight's move, knight's move. Now we can see that black is actually threatening this area quite a bit. So white invests in saving the points here. But now with black being so strong and overturning white, black now goes for the cut. And so black uses knight's move to open the fan. This wasn't actually in the book, this name, opening the fan. I learned this from the Janice Kim books. But yeah, essentially we're using knight's move. It's like we're opening a Japanese fan and the white's is closing. And attacking on the top. Once white defended, black cuts the group. Yeah, yeah. So this is really nice for black. This is a nice example of how to use a knight's move, which is to essentially just attack your opponents without contacting them, without touching them. And you can see black's zones are going to be very useful across the board. All right, I think we have a few examples of knight's moves, so let's take a look. So black has a wall on this side. It's a thin wall, in my opinion, but it is a wall nonetheless. And so black wants to drive these stones towards this wall. So black, yeah, I said it without reading it. Here's where the knight's move come into play. So black uses the knight's move, and then white comes up. This is making the pyramid head shape or triangle shape. And then the fun thing about this is now the leaning attack. Once again, we're using a tactic we learned in the last class. This is super essential to use. Because this group is thin, if we kept attacking from the other side, we would be hurting this one. So what we're going to do is lean on this weak stone, make noise in the north to attack in the west. Right? Our only contact moves we use is the ones where we need to strengthen ourselves. We don't touch the group that we want to kill. So black then uses another knight's move. White starts settling. And even though white is going to live, you can see that we got to attack white and made profit on the other side of the attack. This is a very essential way to understand how to fight. Let's read the script. We see the leaning attack at 3 and 5, mixed with the knight's move of 7, pushing white into thickness. Very important, fundamental. White has to settle, and black extends big on the bottom. This is a beautiful use of the knight's attack. A very awesome example of using knight's moves to push things into thickness. I'd be very happy as black here. Let's see. Okay, so now we're gonna learn the third technique, or is this the fourth? I guess it's the fourth, right? We did eye stealing, we did angle Tetsuji, knight's move, and now we're doing the capping attack. And then, like I said, I think you guys all know a lot of these moves, right? I think you know the knight's move, the capping move. But these examples are gonna hopefully um, reawaken your knowledge and understanding of them, right? And you'll find the problems I think are tough at the end. I made them easier by putting down markers. In the book, there's no markers, but this is a double-digit Q class, so I wanted to make it a little easier for you guys. But let's continue. I'm just uh, babbling on now. The capping attack. Whereas we use the knight's move to chase the enemy, the capping attack is used to stop the enemy head on. So for knight's moves, we push around our opponents. Cap moves, we're stopping our opponent right in their face, right? So when we look, this would be the capping attack. Black is trapped and cannot move out into the center. This example will continue in the next chapter, it says. So we'll figure out if this group can live or not. I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't read the next chapter yet. It looks very hard for black, but there are a couple cracks maybe black can go through. But ideally, this is still good for white to attack and put pressure on these two stones, I think. And we don't know. Maybe white will be able to kill that group easy. I'm not sure just yet. So in this case, when we see here these two stones, we're once again going to use the capping attack. The capping attack can be very effective, even if it doesn't fully trap or contain the enemy. So in the other example, it looked like you were going to just fully contain or trap or surround the other stones. In this one, there's bigger gaps, right? There's bigger ways for black to come out. But let us see how effective it can be, even if black does come out, right? So first, let's start with this one. So black's using the angle Tetsuji and trying to get out into the center. White pushes, black pushes, white strengthens its weak stone, right? So black can get out with 3, but he is being severely attacked and has still a weakness at A. There's still a significant weakness at A. So even though black should be able to get out and live, while it's being severely attacked, it is not making points, right? While white's making lots of influence in the center, possibly lots of points on the bottom. So this is a really nice capping move attack. So if black doesn't want white to make lots of points on the bottom, black could try and come out this way. But I think this is even worse because it just kind of forces white to make points. And so you can see that this group is still being very severely attacked. If black moves out this way, white makes territory on the bottom with 2 and keeps black under fire at 4. This is very successful for white, actually. So yeah, we can see one thing that I have to remind myself and everybody else is we're trying to learn severe attacks, right? There's such thing as non-severe attacks, which we covered in the beginning, and then there's severe attacks. The capping move is very severe, right? All these moves are eye stealing and so on. Let's see. Okay. So this situation, we see this actually happens quite often, right? Let's say, I don't know. I don't know how often it actually comes up, but it looks good. Like it looks like a very common thing I see. So the capping attack works well on isolated stones as well. Can white escape? So if white tries to push through this way, black's going to use the knight's move, right? Here's the elephant's eye. And so black doesn't have to worry about any cuts really, and so it can play one of the most severe moves, which is the knight's moves here. If white pushes on, black's gonna just push on, white pushes on, and then black traps. So now you can see that white has made 0 eyes and is in lots of trouble. This is a mix of capping, angle Tetsuji, and knight's attack move. White will most likely die here. We can see right here is the angle Tetsuji. We can see we use the knight's move after that. And then this was originally a cap. So we're using all 3 techniques that we've been learning in this one attack, which is really phenomenal. Let me just see. So if white plays here, this move can save white, but white will have to sacrifice, and it's profitable for black. It doesn't go further on how this works, but for black, I would probably want to play something like this. And I don't know, maybe if black just stays strong and white pushes out, you can see black will pretty much swallow the stone and gain the points here, and still have something to attack. So I think that would be my first choice. Like any other move looks a little silly to me. So I think this would be the move. But all right, let us continue. We're next going to look, and I think, yeah, this is the last attack. This is the last severe, like, attacking strategy or technique, which is the peeping attack, right? The last of the five common attacks. Peeping can be used in a variety of ways. One is to spoil eye shape. So in this case, once we peep here, then white will connect, and then black can jump. And we can see that there's no eye shape here, right? White is just very heavy. White's all stuck together and not making any eyes. This would be considered a heavy group shape. Black peeps and puts white into an empty triangle. This is direct 1-2 exchange is fantastic for black. So already this is like a fantastic exchange. And then just making sure that white can't make an eye here just makes it all the more better. So peeping, very important technique. When the enemy has 3 stone formations, the peep is a common attack. So when we're looking at this, right, and this is very common to see, um, the peep is one of the most common probes. So let's take a look. If white plays here, this peep is not an eye stealing move. It's more of a probe or forcing move to see how black wants to connect. There's 2 ways that black can connect, right? First, if we play A, we need the ladder to work for this variation to work, so we have to keep that in mind. But white's going to now push and then cut. And so now, because this ladder doesn't work for black and it works good for white, this is a huge success for white. So I just said that, but yeah, the ladder doesn't work. Black has no good way to continue the fight. If he defends the left side, white will gain lots of profit on the bottom. The idea is that if, like, black, say, attacks here and then keeps going, we can see white is profiting a significant amount on the bottom, and black is just trying to get out into the center. So this would be really good for white. All of this is good for white. So next we're going to this move. So if black connects this side, white now just leaves this alone. This exchange, 1-2 exchange, is already good for white. If black connects here, it allows white to play 3. And still, black has a weakness at A here. So this is considered very good for white, right? This is very good. All right. Let us go to the next example. But yeah, I'm trying to even absorb all this myself here, just considering the peep here and how good it is. And then leaving it alone, right? Learning not to protect your forcing move. So you forced them to connect, and then you took your territory, and then there's a weakness left behind. So this 1-2 exchange is good. All right. Let's see. Combinations. Okay, so combinations where the peep is the first move, leading to a crucial move, is common. So in this case, if this is the peep and here's the crucial move, let's see them both together, and then we'll see it like if we just play this alone. So if white plays A, black should connect, and then white gets to play this move next. And we can see using the peep, it's helping contain black. White gets the crucial move at 3 to start working on both the top and right side. So this side is starting to look more like white side, and this side is starting to look more like white side. So these 2 moves were considered very crucial and a good combination. If we just play this outright, we can see that black now just does the dog face shape, and so black is getting good shape. If white just attacked that one, black makes good shape, and white can't build the framework he wanted, right? It's starting to look a little grim for white to try and take both of these sides. So we can see that the peep forced black to connect, which then gave white good shape. Okay. Oh, okay. So now we're at the 10 problems. They involve the 5 attacking moves we just learned: eye stealing, angle tetsuji, night attacks, capping, and peeping. These are very severe moves that we need to learn how to use. You need to find the right move and the right direction of attack. I wrote I got 1 out of 10 because I didn't know how many I'd get right when I first made this variation. I actually got what I'm going to consider 5.5. Sometimes I would get the first move right, but then I wouldn't know the follow ups. So that's why I'd give myself a half point. So let's see how you do. Um, Feel free to pause the video and try and find the answers. And feel free to grade yourself. Write down what, how many you got right and wrong. Okay, so in this variation, despite its Panuki, black can still be attacked. How so? So you guys know the markers aren't here in the book, so I put them here to make this a lot easier for you guys. Um, Go ahead and feel free to pause the video now and see what you come up with. I'm gonna give the answers. So, uh, if I remember correctly, and I did get this one right, it would be C. But let's find out. This attack is a knight's move slash angle attack. If black tanukis, A captures the group, right? So if black plays somewhere else and and white gets A, then this group is dead. So black, of course, is going to push out. White will push out, and then we're going to make the dog face shape. So this is running from behind, right? Black is behind in this race. And so white just keeps profiting while it happens, right? White's profiting while attacking. This is very good for white. So this is finding the first key move was the most important part of this. Um, A looks good in some contexts, but it's too slow. Stronger players would see that easy, I think. And B actually to me looks pretty good because this group is connected, so you'll be getting lots of influence this way. But black's already here, so it's much better to just keep the attack as severe as possible with C. Black to play. White's middle group is right for attack. Okay. So, looking at A, B, and C, what do you think the correct answer for black is? I remember I got this one right as well. I think this one could be easy. Feel free to pause and find the move. Okay, and so the answer to me, which is easy to find, is B, right? This is the move where creates the eye stealing Tetsuji. It's also breaking the mouth shape, so that's how I can find it. It's also the middle of 3 stones, right? So this is a very important shape point. Black uses the eye stealing Tetsuji. It puts black ahead and threatens the cut at A. So no matter what white chooses to play next, black gets just to keep moving forward in good shape, and white doesn't have an eye here, so this eye has been stolen. Black is just cruising along, yeah. So this is really nice. All right, so that was the first 2 problems. Problem 3: black to attack the 2 white stones on the left side. So this one I remember finding the first move, but I was messing up on the follow-ups. So I gave myself a half point on this one, if I remember right. A, B, or C, what do you think the best move for black is? Feel free to pause the video. Okay, the answer is, if I remember right, B. And, oh, I know I got it wrong. What is the answer? The peep. That's right. Oh, well, I got it wrong this time. All right, guys. Well, let's take a look. So black peeps, and white has apparently 2 choices. Once white peeps, then we lean. So I remember actually yesterday when I was doing the problems, um, I remember getting this correct, but then I didn't realize about the leaning attack. I think I was like playing a cap move or like something else, but I didn't realize I should lean on this group. So I gave myself a half a point for this one. This leaning, I'll call it more of a leaning defense than an attack. It's helping this group significantly. Also, this move is also leaning on this group to defend. Okay, so this would be considered a leaning attack. This is a leaning defense. Now, the book doesn't write these in here. This was my own thoughts about these moves. So white clamps, and then black gets to play the angle attack. This was very beautiful, yeah. So I missed this part, and I was very sad. The angle attack, yeah, and I wrote I got the first move right, but couldn't find the follow-ups. Yeah. So this is really cool. If you guys want to, look through it again. Ideally, we peep. Did I make a variation for this B? I don't remember that. Okay. So if white goes this way, black pushes through. Right, I remember this now. So white gets some solidarity, but black is still in a good position here, right? If this has become significantly stronger, then you can really consider it a good thickness, which we can just keep using to attack. This is a defiant way to play, but the book says it's not recommended. This is for white. It's saying it's not recommended to play this, so it recommended this one. All right, so let's move on to problem 4. Clearly my memory was bad. My instincts. Black to play against the 2 white stones on the left. Okay, so now we have A, B, and C. Feel free to pause the video. All right, the answer, if I remember correctly, was A. Yes, that's right, the A move here. So now we can see that black is building some territory and it's attacking this group significantly, right? It's a mix between the capping move, because we're capping white, and a mix between the knight's move. So this is a really nice combo. If I remember right, I messed up on the follow-ups, so I got the first move right, but I messed up on the follow-ups here. So between A, B, and C, what is the next best move? I think I remember now, but I remember what I picked too. So let us see if I get it right, which I believe, if you haven't paused it yet, you can, but I'm going to give the answer. I believe it was C, which it was. I think when I first looked at this, I thought the peep would be good here, right? We have the 3 stones. We were taught the peep's good here. But in this case, C is much better. If white defends, black uses the knight's move to keep pushing white into the thickness, right? Where this is a very strong group on the top. So pushing white into this strong group is very smart. Use the knight's moves to drive your opponents, right? And then I wrote I got the first move right, but messed up on the follow-up. So if you guys are like me, feel free to give yourself a half point. Or just be happy you found the first move. I don't whatever style you want. I'm not judging. Black to play, attack the middle white stones. Okay, so now we're looking at A, B, and C. We want to attack these central white stones, right? We have strength for black here, strength for black here, so we want to attack this. I think I just got this one straight out wrong, so I did. I thought about the right answer, but then I changed it to a different one. And remember, the book doesn't have the markers, so I had to come up with these on my own. But anyway, pause the video, try it out, and now I'll give you the answer. The answer is C. Now, when I was looking at it, I think I picked B first, and so that's where I got it wrong. I was thinking of A at first, then I changed to B. I thought of C and then went back to B in my own personal experience of reading this book. But C is correct because this capping move also helps defend this bottom group, right? This move is helping defend these stones. These stones aren't settled yet. So this is a really nice attack and defense move. It's very, very awesome. if you found this. Good job if you found this. It's a key point. So now I have to ask, what is the next move for black? You can pause the video, take a look at A, B, and C. I'll give you the answer. The answer is B. So B caps again a second time, creating a huge moyo and has a great follow-ups at A and B. The book says black has already won this game. Like the book is already saying black is so good in this position, black's gonna win the game. But you can see that black stones are fully like encapsulating white. White's probably gonna live, but with all this newfound power, it's gonna affect the rest of the board. And black has really nice moves at A and B, right? This corner is not alive yet or settled yet, and then getting in front of your opponent here is really nice. All right, so that was problem 5. Let us continue. Oh, hopefully you didn't see the answers. Problem 6. The group to attack is the white one in the upper right corner. White to play. So, there's the black one, right? Yeah, so black, excuse me, black, this is the group where white can attack. So it's white to play. A, B, or C. What do you think the best move is? If I remember, I think I got this one wrong as well. In looking at it, I don't actually remember the right answer. I think I have it, but go ahead and pause the video and try it for yourself. Okay, I'm going to give the answer. If I remember, I wanted to pick B because even if black comes through here, then I can knight's move and push it into this wall. So that was my goal. But this is a little too aggressive because if black lives, it's just going to ruin everything. So if I remember, the right answer was A, which it was. So the knight's move thwarts plans for the mark stone, right? This actually helps kill the stone much easier. It's also helping build a large moyo in the center. And third, of course, it's still attacking this group, right? There's many bad follow-ups white can do against this if black tanukis. So this move has 3 purposes. It's very good. I remember I got that one flat out just wrong. Let me go a little slower so I don't give the answer. There we go. Problem number 7. White's move. Attack the center black group. So, between A, B, and C, what do you think the best move is for white? Yes, for white. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, I'll give you the answer. I remember getting this one right, and it is B. B is the eye-stealing Tetsuji. As you can see, this move is very effective of hurting this group significantly. If black tries to push out, white just Ataris, black has to fix, and then white jumps out. And we can see that there's no eye shape here for black whatsoever, and white is strong enough to withstand any Ataris. So this is really good for white in this case. If black comes out this way, well, now we can just cap on top. So this cut is still available at any time, right? White can take this cut at any time to kill. But white's going to attack the group as a whole because it doesn't have any eye shape right now. Black may live, but if white captures A, he will have lots of power in the center to attack the top. So if black comes out here to make shape, it might live. But once white kills these 4 stones with A, it's this thickness is so strong that white can throw bombs in here, right? White's gonna have no problem invading. All right, that was problem 7. I did find that one easy for myself. It's very easy to remember breaking the mouse shape for me. So let's keep going. Problem 8. How should black attack the three white stones on the right side? A, B, or C? So it is black's turn. Right. Okay, so I don't remember if I got this right or wrong. I'm going to try and find the answer myself right now, so I'll give you guys a moment to pause the video if you want, or you can try and think of it at the same time as me. I might get this one wrong. I'm thinking B is the answer, the angle attack here. The cap looks good. The knight's move looks good. I remember now what I picked yesterday, and so if you guys want to pause the video and take it, figure out the answer. If you're ready for the answer, let's go. So I remember I played A the first time, and this was wrong, and that will be explained. So I'm thinking it is B or C. I want to say it's B. I'm probably going to get this wrong. Let's do it. This is wrong, guys. Oh no. So C is the right move, the capping move. I didn't learn anything. Well, I learned that A is not the answer, so I did learn something. But let's talk about the capping move. This move attacks and defends the bottom side. So this move is helping defend black here, right? Um, if we go back, suppose black attacked at A. Yeah, I got this wrong. So this is how I attacked, and the idea was I was trying to make profit while attacking this white group. But if I attack from this direction and not this one, then we can see white's just going to jump, and then black has to run away. Black's already in big trouble. So as black runs away, white runs away, and then white got the better of the exchanges because white is very thick here, and so white is constantly pushing black against this wall. Um, Yeah, and it has an opening at A, which I didn't. Oh, here it is, A. So even though this nice move was trying to profit on the side, White can always take it away with a 3-3. So this was wrong. If you guys found this, good job, because I messed it up again, second time. So very good job. And if not, then we're on the same page. We're in the same boat. I remember this problem. Problem 9, white to play, how to attack the larger group in the lower left. So when we're looking at this group, sorry, for black, it's white's turn. So when we're looking at black's weak group, how should we attack this group? So it looks like I didn't give you markers. So you got to figure this one out on your own, guys. Feel free to pause the video. All right, I am going to give the answer now, and it should be. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, here was your markers. Well, let's see if you found it. So the answer is the peep. Once we peep here, you can see it's also an angle attack, so it's a mix of both. And black has really two options. If black connects, now this is where I got the follow-up wrong, so feel free to pause it and let me know which move you think is right. Okay, I'm going to give the answer. The answer is A. Now, I played B. I'm used to peeping and then jumping, right? Because this breaks an eye here, whereas this one actually allows black, I think, to make an eye here, unless I'm mistaken. But it looks to me like this allows black to make an eye, so that's why I really like this move. But the book suggested this was the best move, the peep and descent. It leaves black with little eye shape. White can attempt to make a large center influence. So this, I got the follow-up wrong, so I gave myself a 0.5 here. Yeah. Um, so the other one, variation, so if white peeps here, which is the correct answer. If black plays this, white cuts, white jumps, white pushes, and then black hugs. So black is okay on the bottom, but loses this. And this is big. I mean, this is a secure 25 points, but black does recover a little bit on the bottom. So this is a different way of playing. This might get you fully killed. I'm not sure just yet. I still think black might be able to do a little something. But I guess it's really hard for black to find two eyes here. This one would save one group, but then get cut on the other. All right. I think we're at the last problem here. Let's do it. Problem 10. White to play. Did I not put markers on this one? We'll find out. White to play. Here we go. Okay. White to attack the black group in the upper right. So now we're looking at this group. I remember I actually did get this answer right. Feel free to pause the video and, make your judgment. Okay, I will give you the answer. The answer is the angle attack. Black can make one eye up here, right? Well, let's read the script and then I'll show you. The angle attack. This attack is the most severe. Black can make an eye with A, but not two eyes. Yeah, so I got this right. I got 5.5. I gave myself half points for finding the first moves, but missing the follow ups. So, if we went like this, we can see that black can essentially get an eye shape here. You could argue this is a ko, which makes the eye stealing. So already, this doesn't look great for black. So this attack is extremely severe. I remember if we played A, the book showed some variation. Apparently, I didn't think it was important enough to put down here. But the answer is B. The answer is B. We can see that it just attacks the eye shape a lot. Even if black tries to make an eye down here, black really can't, right? Black can attempt to make a ko, but the ko doesn't matter. So this is great for white. Very good. All right, guys. That was a very long lecture. I hope it helped. Remember, I've said this like at least 4 times now or 5 times in the video. But remember what we learned here today. We learned here that non-contact moves are how you attack and go, right? In our world, right, in the real world, like when you're in a fight, you're physically hitting somebody. But in Go, when you hit somebody physically, it just strengthens them. So non-contact moves are the most important thing. Um, and then we have to think about severity versus non-severity. If we're not attacking, if we're not contacting, but we have no pressure, no severity, then black usually can settle, or whatever color can usually settle easy. So the severe moves, the 5 most common severe moves, is the eye stealing Tetsuji, the angle Tetsuji, the knight's move, the capping move, and the peeping move. So, all right, that wraps it up. Thank you for watching. I hope this series helps. It's definitely takes a lot of effort. All right, so take it easy.